Hey, what's up guys, it's Foreign and welcome back. I'm here to bring you guys part 2 of my Tough Mudder story. Now, I realized actually that I missed an obstacle. This obstacle wasn't anything difficult really. It was, what was it called? Trench warfare. Basically it was these trenches that kind of arced. So when you actually like got down on your knees and you were going to go through the trench, you couldn't see the light at the other end. Also, there was something over the top, so it was completely pitch black. There's like huge rocks in there and stuff like that, so you're just banging your knees on rocks the whole time. It's like a really easy obstacle, but the fact that you're just sitting there banging your knees the whole time, it really hurts actually. So let's see here. Where did we leave off? We left off with the smoke. The smoke. So if my memory is correct, the next thing you do, you kind of go about I don't even know, maybe a full mile, maybe a mile and a half, and then you have to go to walk the plank. Now walk the plank is an interesting obstacle. It's not difficult at all. It's more of just kind of like facing your fears a little bit for some people that are afraid of heights. Also some people that are afraid of like deep water and stuff like that. So basically what you do is you have to climb up this platform that is completely full of people, by the way, so there's no standing room up there. Once you get up there, the platform that you're standing on is probably like, I don't even know, 30 feet wide by like 4 feet. So it's really not very large at all. So you kind of get up there and you're kind of, you know, just trying to center yourself on this thing so no one pushes you off in any direction. And then they tell the next group of people, put your feet up to the edge, and on 3 jump. And I want to say it's a good 20 to 25 foot drop into 14 foot deep water. That's pretty cold. It's definitely not warm water by any means, but it's not a difficult thing though. So it's more of just kind of facing your fears and being able to do it. So I jumped, and I was with my coworker Scott. He was just, you know, just pacing himself. He didn't want to overwork himself. You know, none of us want to get hurt while doing this. So, I mean, the best thing to do is just take it easy. There's no sense in trying to be this tough guy and sprint the whole thing, because it's not worth it. You know, you could seriously injure yourself. So anyway, so I made the jump, got out of the water, and then my coworker Scott made the jump. I wish that like we had cameras or something with us, because it would have been cool to like get some pictures of all this stuff. But there's a bunch of pictures on like their website and everything. Let's see here. Next up, we had probably a good like 3/4 of a mile, kind of like zigzagging like up and down these hills, which was fucking ridiculous. Like we could have just easily skipped them, but no, of course not. So the next obstacle that we had to do was the rings. Basically, you have to swing from ring to ring, and there's only 4 of them, so it's not like you're doing this for a very long time. Well, we got to it, and it was finally my turn to go, and I grab on the first one, and I get going, and I get the second one just fine, and I get the third one just fine, and I get the 4th one. And right as I let go of my backhand, when I got to the 4th one, I fucking slipped off of it. I was doing so perfect. Oh, I was so pissed. I was so pissed off. I should have made it. I should have made it across, but I didn't. And then I fell in the water. So that fucking sucked. Like right when I was about to get to the end. The next thing that you do after that, what was it again? It was cliffhanger. Basically, you just have to go up this huge fucking like wall of gravel and dirt and shit like that. It's really not difficult. It's just kind of like, I guess if you step in the wrong spot, a bunch of the stuff will come out from under you, and you know, you'll slip back. But I mean, for the most part, it was a pretty easy challenge. It wasn't very difficult to do. The next thing that you had to do was the boa constrictor. They're these black tubes. They're probably about 3 feet wide, circle tubes. that go down into this ditch, and then there's one that goes out of the ditch. In the ditch, there is water, probably 5 to 6 inches deep. So it's not a lot of water, but when you're down there, there's not much room for your head or anything like that. So basically, you have to go into this tunnel that is extremely dark and extremely narrow, get down to the bottom, and then come back up. When you get to the bottom, there's some of them where you have to put your head underwater. Some of them, it's actually close enough where you don't need to. We happened to get lucky, and I found one that seemed like it ended a little sooner, and then the other one started a little later than the rest. But the difficult thing about this challenge was the tubes weren't solid. They weren't solid circles. On the bottom, they cut out like a, oh geez, I want to say maybe like a 6-inch like strip out of them. So like, luckily, with me being as skinny as I am, my knees fit in between it just fine. But like even I noticed when I got out, like I was like cutting up the sides of my knees and stuff like that, and it was not pleasant at all. Let's see, what was after that? Oh, and then after this obstacle, we had to go probably a good like 2.5 miles until we saw another obstacle. It was ridiculous. 2.5 miles until you see anything. We get to this part that was literally like a 2-mile stretch, and one of the guys that we were with, he was doing this whole thing on like a sprained ankle, so we actually told him to just kind of hold where he was, because basically we had to go like this huge distance one direction, then we were coming back like basically to that same point. So we just told him to hold there. There's no sense in him hurting himself more than he was already hurt. He was already, you know, pushing himself pretty hard to even get that far. So, you know, I was really proud that he still ended up, you know, toughing it out and getting it all done. But, you know, he did skip that little part, and there's a few obstacles that he had to skip. So this is actually like a really long section of just nothing, and there's just a water station at the end. And I guess when we were down at the water station, the rest of our teams actually passed our friend that was just sitting there. So we weren't too far behind. Like we were far behind, but we weren't actually too far behind that it was absolutely ridiculous. We would never catch them. So let's see here. And then after that, we come back through the woods, and we get to another Kiss the Mud. So it's another crawling through the mud, under the wires, which it was really weird because the side that we took, it was like I could almost walk. Like I could almost actually like walk under the wires. Like that's how high they were, and then they got super low. It was really weird. So we, you know, made it through that just fine, and then we come up on the Berlin Wall 2. Berlin Wall 2 is actually, I think they're 12-foot walls, so they're a little higher. We only had 3 people in our group at the time, so we didn't have like our full team like we did before. And it was a good like 30-minute wait. There was just so many people just backed up there. But we ended up making it over just fine. I mean, it's a little difficult because like when you get up there, it's very wobbly because it is so high up, and there's not really much supporting it. So I mean, I got up there just fine, and basically sat up there and was helping other people over. I didn't have a difficult time getting up, so I figured it wouldn't be a terrible option. Also, I know that some of my other teammates were a little more, I guess, worked and stuff like that, so it wouldn't have been as easy for them. But anyways, so I lifted a few people over. We made it over the 2 walls just fine. And then let's see, right after that, I don't remember what this obstacle is actually called, but basically you just have to cross this little part of the lake. You know, we were supposed to do that before, but we were supposed to go under something. This time we're actually just going through the lake a little bit. And I mean, that was easy. But one of the groups before us, like one of my teammates, was actually like working his legs pretty hard during all this, and As soon as he got in the water, his legs completely seized up, and he had to, like, someone had to pull him out of the water on the other end, and they were sitting there working his legs and stuff like that, like, just trying to get him to move, because, like, he was in that much pain, like, going into cold water after doing all this work, and it was bad. I wasn't up by him at the time, so I didn't actually know until, you know, after the fact, when we were all sitting at work talking about it. But I've actually decided that I'm going to make this into a 3-part series. The last 4 obstacles are doozies, and I would like to actually spend a little bit more time telling you guys about them. So I hope you guys enjoy the video. If you like the video, please leave a like. On the left-hand side of the screen, you can hop over and check out the Part 1 video. And on the right-hand side of the screen, I'll take you over to Episode 1 of the Borderlands Let's Play that I am in the process of doing with my friends Geraldus, DCTX6, and O Complain. And if you guys are new around here, please feel free to subscribe. I hope you guys like what you see. I try and do what I can to please my audience. And I hope you guys have a nice day. Bye.